in colossal losses, comparable to the bloody battle for Bakhmut. His statement effectively refutes Vladimir Putin's recent public assertion that the Ukrainian city was encircled. What's so difficult about the situation for us? The fact is that we haven't yet closed the encirclement of Pokrovsk geographically, and so we're forced to push it out, meaning urban warfare. And the losses there are very high. For us, they're comparable to Bakhmut, the battle for Bakhmut. Remember Yevgeny Prigozhin, when he was alive, cited this figure: 20,000 dead Wagner troops alone, and probably no less among defense ministry units. I'd like to remind you that the Wehrmacht, when it took Poland in September 1939, suffered just over 20,000 casualties. That's just Bakhmut, Kalashnikov declared. The information that is being disseminated shows that the Russian army is in a tragic situation around Pokrovsk. The soldiers complain that they are surrounded and have suffered thousands of losses. For this reason, there is serious anger against the generals who are leading the battle. This is also evident among the Z patriots. Since the generals have not yet fully captured Pokrovsk, they are also the target of serious criticism in Russian society. Even sources loyal to the Kremlin acknowledge the colossal scale of Russia's losses. Kalashnikov's admission contradicts Moscow's official narrative, which claims that the operation is proceeding according to plan. In reality, Russian troops are suffering horrific losses trying to break through Ukrainian defenses. Putin, speaking earlier, claimed that Pokrovsk was encircled. However, this statement quickly fell apart under the weight of facts. Ukrainian troops continue to hold the city, and even Russian bloggers admit that a complete encirclement is out of the question. Military experts note that the battle for Pokrovsk is repeating the scenario of Bakhmut: protracted fighting, huge losses, and minimal gains for Russian troops. Ukrainian military and communications expert Sergei Flesh confirmed that a military political decision has been made to hold the Pokrovsk-Milnorad agglomeration for as long as possible. He stated that all available reserves will be deployed for this purpose, as this section of the front is of strategic importance. Flesh emphasized that holding Pokrovsk and Milnorad is extremely important from a military standpoint. Beyond these positions lies a largely flat area leading deep into the Dnipropetrovsk region. If the enemy breaks through to this area, they will be able to use the heights around Pokrovsk for long-range drone and artillery fire, posing a serious threat to the Ukrainian rear. The expert noted that such decisions are not made without compelling justification. Ukraine's military leadership is assessing the realistic capabilities of holding the defense line. Flesh added that despite the strategic importance of the area, no position is worth human lives, and if there is a need to rescue people, it must be done promptly. He recalled that the defense forces had already accomplished a true feat, holding the Pokrovsk sector for over a year. The infantry, artillery, and special operations forces soldiers who continue to hold back the Russian advance at the cost of enormous effort distinguished themselves here. Flash also appealed to Ukrainians not to panic and not to spread demoralizing publications. He noted that frontline soldiers read news and see comments online, and rumors of the city being encircled or falling could seriously damage morale.
According to media reports, the Russians were kidnapped for extortion, but the criminals did not receive the money and killed the victims. Russian businessman Roman Novak, previously implicated in major cryptocurrency fraud cases, and his wife, Anna, have been murdered in the United Arab Emirates, 78RU reported. According to preliminary reports, the couple was kidnapped for extortion, but the perpetrators failed to achieve their goal and killed the hostages. Law enforcement agencies participated in the investigation, and the suspects, both Russian citizens, have already been detained. Roman and Anna Novak lost contact with their relatives about a month ago. Their phones were last detected on October 4 in the Hatta and Oman areas, and then in Cape Town, after which the devices stopped transmitting data. Later, the deceased woman's father and his wife flew to Dubai, where they picked up their minor grandchildren. According to a source, the kidnappers were hoping to extort a large sum from Novak's family, but, finding no funds on him, they murdered him and his wife. The investigation is ongoing, and details of the case have not been officially released. Roman Novak has previously been linked to cryptocurrency projects and fraudulent schemes. Specifically, he created the fast crypto transfer app Fintopio and attracted hundreds of millions of dollars in investment, promising partnerships with major IT companies. After receiving the funds, the businessmen disappeared, leaving employees without salaries and investors without their investments. Among the victims were entrepreneurs from China, the Middle East, and other countries. Relatives of the victims are refraining from public comment due to the ongoing investigation. It is noted that Novak has repeatedly attracted the attention of law enforcement agencies and the media, most recently in connection with the disappearance of $500 million received from investors under the guise of developing business projects. Israeli jets struck several towns in southern Lebanon on Thursday after ordering residents to leave, marking an escalation in their near-daily strikes on the country. According to Associated Press, the airstrikes came hours after militant group Hezbollah urged the Lebanese government not to enter negotiations with Israel. Israeli Arabic spokesperson Avichai Adri told residents in Taiba near the border, Tir Deba, located just east of the coastal city of Tyre, and Ida al-Jabal, in southern Lebanon, to flee 500 meters away from residential buildings they are targeting. It later issued more warnings for the towns of Zadar al-Sharqiya, where an explosion was seen after a strike as night fell, and Kfar Daunan. The Israeli military said it targeted military infrastructure for Hezbollah in those areas. It accused the group of rebuilding its capabilities almost a year after a US-brokered ceasefire went into effect that ended a months-long war. While most residents evacuated the threatened areas ahead of the strikes, Lebanon's health ministry reported one person wounded. The strikes came as Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam and his government met in Beirut to follow up on a plan drafted by the Lebanese military to disarm